Yes, I am part of the research group on nutrition, sustainability, and health promotion. And in our research group, our focus is to how to combine foods into diets that are healthy, sustainable, and also nutritional adequate diets, and also adapted to the Danish food culture. And based on that, suggest the frame for dietary guidelines. And we also investigate how to implement guidelines in Denmark, for example, through the professional kitchens, but also in families at home. Further, we contribute by evaluation, feasibility, and effect of implementing such guidelines. And it is, of course, focusing on the nutritional and the health effect. So, our work is directly basis for our obligation, or advisory obligation to the Danish Veterinary and Food Administration, and we, so to speak, facilitate advice from them to the general population, and also to the professional kitchens, daycare, schools, education institutions, and worksite canteens. But first, is it happening? Yeah. First, I want to illustrate how we also provide important background knowledge. Knowledge and data for this work, and we have conducted the national survey on food habits and physical activity. Actually, we have conducted the surveys since 1985, and we have a survey running now. The data collection actually is we think it will complete in 2023. Due to a delay, due to the corona lockdown, we have a delay. But we aim at measuring the actual intake of the population, the actual food intake of the population. And therefore, one of the challenges is the fast changing in the food market. For instance, meat replaces, cheese replaces, more different kind of pulses and so on. And we have to get knowledge about that. And we also, since we also have the food composition table in our group, we also seek to get new knowledge on the nutrient content of these foods. It's also a huge challenge. And the third pillar that I will mention in our work is the Nordic Nutrition Recommendation, where we now have a revision going on, which also are going to be completed in 2023. And we are dealing with the scientific basis. We are updating the scientific basis for the nutrient recommendation and the food-based dietary guidelines. And here we are also integrating sustainability. Our work with the scientific background for the new official dietary guidelines. In this work, we combine exactly I see if I can point. No. Is it possible? Yeah. We combine the knowledge about the health impact, the association, as Leah talked about, between food intake and disease risk, the nutrient content of foods, the sustainability impact of foods, and the national dietary surveys. And using all these data, we were modeling a plant-rich diet, which formed basis on the food-based dietary guidelines. And for example, it resulted in an increase in pulses. Actually, it also formed increase in nuts and seeds. Here you see the current intake in red and the plant-rich diet in green. And as you also know, it was also a large decrease in the total meat. But also other changes in the food composition to actually have a sustainable but also a nutritional adequate diet. Okay, I also wanted to point out that we have these, the peer-read report and the scientific papers on that. And based on that work, we also provide the background for the advice for the professional kitchens. And this is for many different population groups and also different kind of meals going into that. Okay. And in addition to this, I want to mention our project with the Copenhagen municipality. They have a strategy saying that they want a 25% reduction in health impact, in climate impact in 2025, but they also want to ensure the nutrition adequacy of what they are going to do in the professional kitchens. It was based on the procurement of the Copenhagen municipality. And of course, when they are going to ensure the nutritional adequacy, that is where we come in. So we have provided, as you can see here, guidelines for diets based on the actual Perkins pattern, and we translate it into kind of meal tools. Then it is going to be implemented by Copenhagen municipality, where they have Maders Madhus in consultant to do that. And we have now also planned to assess the effect after 2 years, and this is a part of a PhD project in our group. So this is also a project where we are using all these data. Then finally, I want to mention all the challenges, or some of the challenges. And yes, it is a busy slide, this, but I think it is well to illustrate that there's really a lot to be done. And first, I want to mention the acceptability, and we have already planned to go into that just to develop more targeted diets which are sustainable and nutritional adequate. And we want to use this mathematically optimization technique with the data. And this is also part of our PhD project, and you can hear more about it in the speakers corner in the afternoon. Then we also want to work with acceptability and accessibility and in intervention studies, in families, but also in professional kitchens. And for instance, we want to go into the intervention studies with frail elderly in the Copenhagen municipality in nursing homes. We also point at the foods, and especially highly processed food. We need more knowledge about the highly processed foods. For our point of view, of course, the nutrient content, but also the health impact has to be investigated, since it's not obvious that the health impact is the same if you are combining different parts of vegetables into highly processed foods. And then we also want to point at the investigation of the organic products, the place of organic products in the diet. And we have actually an application now for that, where we are going to integrate the sustainability and the plant and the health impact of such diets. So that's an interesting view on that. Finally, we want to point that we want to have further work on this, on a holistic approach to sustainability of foods and diets and the food system. And we are dealing with that in the NNR update. This is based on literature, but we also want to follow the effect of improvements in production of sustainability impact data. And not only the climate impact, also the impacts such as land use, water use, pesticide use, the nitrogen and phosphor emissions, and maybe an overall measure on biodiversity. And we want to conduct further optimization studies based on these new data to provide suggested sustainable, healthy, and nutritional adequate diets in the future. That was what I was planning to say.